Chow. Keep life simple.
One Prilosec OTC each morning blocks heartburn all day and all night. Prilosec OTC reduces excess acid for 24 hours, blocking heartburn before it starts. One pill a day, 24 hours, zero heartburn.
The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Weeknights on CBS.
MTS! You remember us?
Mondays.
Go, go, go!
You're not safe here.
We need to go now. NCIS and NCIS Hawaii. Mondays on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
Who has what it takes to become America's best? This is the Challenge USA.
Check your cameras. Trust only the best. Protect your family, home, or business with 24/7 armed response.
Perimeter secure.
Remember, AmeriGuards it.
The CBS 47 studio is sponsored by Epic Nights at Table Mountain Casino Resort. Eyewitness News starts now.
A rollover crash you'll see exclusively here on Eyewitness News. We have new details today that shows the driver had warrants out for his arrest and was allegedly trying to evade police. Plus, a Fresno figure has died today. We have a look back at the legacy of Mike Reynolds, who was vital in initiating the three-strike law for the state.
This is Murrow and Emmy Award-winning CBS 47 Eyewitness News at 11.
Good evening. I'm Esteban Reynoso. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Mike Reynolds, the Fresno man who helped get California's three strikes law passed after his daughter was murdered by a previously convicted felon, has died at the age of 79. Reynolds' work has been described as essential to keeping not only the valley safe, but the state as well. CBS 47's Rhett Rodriguez has more on the story.
Reynolds wasn't a lawyer or politician. He was a grieving father who worked to make sure no one else went through what he did.
It was Mike Reynolds that stepped up, and he turned all that pain and all that anger into a crusade for justice.
Former Fresno mayor and current Fresno area assembly member Jim Patterson says Mike Reynolds turned a devastating loss into a mission to prevent further tragedy. Reynolds was known for ensuring California's three-strike rule was signed into law. His statewide effort began after his daughter Kimber was shot and killed by a previously convicted felon when she was leaving a restaurant in the Tower District in 1992.
Anybody that wants a gun can get a gun. It just is a matter of what the price is.
Reynolds spoke to our cameras over the years. One of the last times he spoke to us, it was about 1020 life, which gave stricter penalties for criminals who use guns in a crime.
It's the toughest gun violence law in the United States of America.
With his passing Sunday, his work is now left to others. Fresno County District Attorney Lisa Smitkamp says Reynolds' work is unmatched.
He just improved public safety in the state of California by increasing the penalties for repeat offenders, and really just, in the era post three strikes was probably the safest time that we have had in California.
Fresno Mayor Jerry Dyer echoed Smitkamp in a statement saying, Mike Reynolds was relentless in his pursuit of three strikes and 1020 life legislation that served to hold violent criminals accountable and prevent further victimization. Absent these laws, California would be a much more violent state. Assemblymember Patterson says he plans to end next session in the state assembly in honor of Reynolds. In the studio, Rhett Rodriguez, CBS 47 Eyewitness News.
Rhett, thanks so much. And continuing our coverage of the bus driver strike in Visalia, the trans-deaf Teamsters confirm they are on strike fighting for better and fair working conditions, they say. Transdev is the contractor for Visalia Transit and Sequoia National Park. The workers are protesting their company's refusal to bargain in a proposal that includes wage increases. This is the third time Transdev has caused Teamsters to strike in California in less than 3 months. Bus services are not expected to be running during the work stoppage, and that is impacting people who get to and from work using the bus.
These bus drivers are helping people get to work, They're helping them get their groceries, helping them see their families, Public transportation is an important part of the infrastructure of a city.
Now, we tried reaching out to the city of Visalia and Transdev for comment, but they did not reach out to us this weekend. We're hopeful for a response tomorrow. New details have been released after a car was driving at a high rate of speed in Visalia that ended up losing control and rolling over. Our camera crew was just down the street when this crash happened, and you could see how much damage is there. According to Visalia police, they were pursuing the driver in the car after they failed to pull over. The driver ran after crashing the car on Bridge Street and Center Avenue, but was eventually arrested. Visalia police say records revealed the suspect, 21-year-old Jose Valdavia, had active warrants for felony evading, assault with a deadly weapon, domestic violence, and resisting arrest. 12 people have been displaced after a 3-alarm fire ripped through a home, heavily damaging it in Fresno. At about 1 a.m., fire crews responded to the fire on East Grant Avenue, and 70 firefighters were on scene at one point to tackle this 3-alarm flame. The home where the fire originated displaced a family of 9, including 7 children. The neighboring home also caught fire and displaced 1 adult and 2 children. Now, the families have been in contact with the American Red Cross, and the cause of the fire is still under investigation tonight. In the South Valley, the Tulare County Sheriff's Office says 2 men were arrested after kidnapping and carjacking 2 teens in Visalia on Thursday. Investigators identified 28-year-old Richard Gonzalez of Hanford and 18-year-old Daniel Castaneda of Woodlake as the suspects. They say 2 17-year-old girls were the victims of the carjacking and kidnapping, and investigators say they had stopped here in the area of Grove Street and Paradise Avenue in Ivanhoe when they say 3 people approached the teens, one of which had a gun. Authorities say the victims were assaulted, forced into the back of their own car, and later dropped off outside the city of Ivanhoe. That's when authorities issued arrest warrants, and the 2 men were booked into the Tulare County Jail.
It's burning. It's on fire. Jesus Christ almighty.
And take a listen to that. This video shared with our affiliate shows the district fire in Kern County that forced the closure of 2 northbound lanes of Interstate 5 near Fort Tejon on Friday. Now, CAL FIRE says at last check, that fire was over 1,000 acres and 80% contained. Video filmed by Angel Ruiz here from Interstate 5 on the southbound shows the fire that Friday night. Now, both lanes have been open since Saturday morning. In Los Angeles, a scary sight for neighbors after an army of officers hit the streets looking for an armed and dangerous suspect. LAPD says this is that part of the rifle that posted a picture, plus cash and ammo that was found in all of this. Police say the suspect started a trail of terror just after 6 in the morning and continued until after 9, armed with a rifle. They say that the man stopped at least 3 times to shoot at people. 1 man was struck and is in critical condition tonight. One business owner recalls what happened when the officers told everyone to stay indoors.
We alerted the parents to let them know, and we kept the door locked, and I stood right here, you know, on this side, letting parents come in and whatnot. And then that's it. We heard helicopters around.
Police used as many resources as they could to track down the suspect and disarm him, and they have not yet released the identity of the suspect or a motive. New York prosecutors say 25-year-old Thomas Abreu now faces a charge of murder and 2 counts of attempted murder after police say he appeared to be shooting people randomly as he drove through Brooklyn and Queens. Astor Martinez has the latest.
Surveillance video shows the suspect pulling up to unsuspected pedestrians and shooting them in broad daylight.
Video shows that he's not targeting anybody, he's not following anybody. As he's driving on his scooter, he's randomly shooting people.
Police say after the first shooting on Saturday, they shared video of the attacks to the phones of every NYPD officer in what's called a critical message. In less than 30 minutes, the suspect traveled at least 8 miles, shooting people in 6 locations. He killed an 86-year-old man and wounded 3 others.
A firearm was recovered inside the scooter. The 9mm pistol had an extended magazine.
In Los Angeles, a similar crime. Police say a gunman used a rifle to shoot at people from his car in 3 neighborhoods, critically wounding a pedestrian. The gunman was later arrested.
Multiple shots fired.
The latest incidents appear to be a trend in urban shootings. Last week, a masked man opened fire at random in Philadelphia, shooting and killing 5 people with an untraceable gun.
Tensions building along the Russian-Ukraine border. Coming up, an inside look at the battle in the air where fighter jets are squaring off. And a lawsuit that is sweeping through one of California's major cities. We'll look into what both sides have to say about the lawsuit when we come back.
Miss Lee, this is Agent Williams from the tax office. Our records show an unpaid balance on your account. If you don't pay by end of day, you'll be facing jail time. Well, the fastest way to fix this is with a prepaid debit card. Can you go get one now? Yes, and we want to clear this up. If you just buy that prepaid card, put $400 on it, then call me back and read the numbers to me.
The moment they ask for a prepaid card is the moment you know something's wrong. Think before you send money. Learn more at scamowareness.org.
Some people love adventure, and then there's Gilbert. Who knows what brought him to Table Mountain? But one thing for sure, it wasn't confidence. He looked around. What catches his eye? Blackjack. His first hand, 2 aces. So naturally, he splits them.
The book says to split them.
And guess what? Hits on both, gets paid. Hey, Gilbert, meet adventure. Another lucky day. Table Mountain Casino Resort.
Psoriasis really messes with you.
Try, hope, fail.
No one should suffer like that.
I started Cosentix. 5 years clear.
Real people with psoriasis look and feel better with Cosentix. Don't use if you're allergic to Cosentix. Before starting, get checked for tuberculosis. An increased risk of infections, some serious, and the lowered ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor about an infection or symptoms, or if you've had a vaccine or plan to. Tell your doctor if your Crohn's disease symptoms develop or worsen. Serious allergic reactions may occur.
Best move I ever made.
Ask your dermatologist about Cosentix.
Hi, I'm Jasmine. Ask me about my Honda. I work as a software engineer by day, but as Miss Silicon Valley, I use a CRV for when I'm going to events. I would frequently go with my other pageant events. We just pack all our wardrobes in one car to save us time, and this car fits everything. Honda would definitely win the talent competition.
Looking for an SUV with brains, beauty, and brawn? To score a deal on the SUV that wears the crown, see your Central Valley Honda dealer.
If you've been having your McMuffin with another iced coffee, now's a great time to reconsider.
Right now, buy one breakfast sandwich and get another one for just $1. Like an Egg McMuffin, Sausage, Egg, and Cheese McGriddles, or Sausage McMuffin with egg. Pair one of these classics with a $2 medium iced coffee. Now even bolder.
Eyewitness News is brought to you in part by Ruse Heating and Air Conditioning. This is CBS 47 Eyewitness News.
Welcome back. This week, the country of Lithuania will play a big role hosting President Biden and other world leaders at the NATO summit. Like Ukraine, Lithuania borders Russia and is considered most at risk of Russian aggression. Unlike Ukraine, it is a NATO member. Holly Williams has more.
At an airbase in Eastern Europe, NATO F-16 fighter jets are scrambled. Flight crews from America's European allies have just 15 minutes to get airborne.
This is just a drill, a training exercise, but the threat is real. Since Russia invaded Ukraine last year, NATO has ramped up its air policing along its eastern flank.
Nearly all the planes they intercept are Russian military, flying close to NATO airspace, sometimes with their transponders off, violating international regulations. Last year, there were nearly 600 intercepts. We flew over Europe in a refueling tanker.
They are super close. I can make out the pilots in the cockpits.
As NATO fighter jets practiced intercepting us.
If you leave them all alone, unescorted, and we have civilian airliners flying the same airspace, then you could potentially have a mid-air collision.
Major General Harold Van Pay told us the Baltic Sea is a hotspot, with Russia on one shore as well as several of America's NATO allies, including Estonia, a tiny nation smaller than West Virginia with a population of just over 1 million.
When you have a bully in school, then the bully does not bully you when you have big friends. And this is the way NATO works.
On the ground, we met the Prime Minister of Estonia, Kaja Kallas. Her country was once invaded and occupied by the Soviet Union. Now, independent Estonia shares a border with Russia.
So it's about 120 miles in that direction, Russia.
For countries like Estonia, democracies that live in the shadow of Russia, how
How important has American leadership been following the invasion of Ukraine in terms of unifying NATO's response?
Well, United States is the biggest ally in NATO, and therefore everybody's looking up to America for leadership. This is a fundamental fight for freedom that is going on.
But some in the US are questioning whether America should continue to support Ukraine.
I will have the disastrous war between Russia and Ukraine settled. It will be settled quickly.
That could mean pressuring Ukraine to give up part of its country for a truce. And it makes some here in Europe nervous. What keeps you up at night?
One of the nightmares is that our unity is falling. Now we have kept this unity, and I think my nightmare is related to this unity falling apart.
Holly Williams, CBS News, Estonia.
Back here in California, a year-long legal dispute between the city attorney's office of San Francisco and the San Fran Coalition on Homelessness. Now, the nonprofit and other plaintiffs sued the city, alleging that San Francisco sweeps encampments to drive out homeless people in a response to neighborhood complaints. The city says those accusations are, quote, riddled with falsehoods and that they are doing nothing wrong. It comes after a federal judge ruled that the city can't move people off the streets unless they have somewhere to put them.
One of the issues in this lawsuit is what constitutes whether someone is, quote, involuntarily homeless. We don't think that if a person refuses shelter or a person has alternative shelter, that should prevent us from being able to address the situation on our streets.
Since 2021, outreach teams have engaged with more than 11,000 people on the street. About 4,500, less than half, accepted a placement off the street. The mayor stated that in the last 5 years, the city has increased the amount of shelter and housing for the homeless by 50%. The extreme heat that continues to pummel the country. Coming up, what's ahead for the Southwest and for our area. And first, we're taking a look at our 4-day allergy forecast brought to you by Boz Allergy and Asthma and Sinus Center. You're looking at medium levels over the next 4 days. Stay with us.
At Rally's, I'm in the driver's seat. Let me get a $5 meal deal with a Rally Burger. Hold up, make it a bacon cheddar crisp. Cheesy? Yes, pleasey. Plus chicken bites, famous seasoned fries, and a drink for just $5. Actually, give me that cheddar Buford. Let's go. I'm talking cheese from top to bottom. Cheddar, better. Whatever you order, own it at Rally's. Get your late night flavor fix.
Hepatitis C? Don't just treat it. Crush it with Maverick.
Conquer it with Maverick.
Cure it with Maverick. Maverick cures all types of Hep C.
In only 8 weeks.
The virus multiplies daily and can damage the liver over time. Maverick stops Hep C and cures it. If you've had hepatitis B, it may flare up and cause serious liver problems during and after treatment. Tell your doctor if you've had Hep B, a liver or kidney transplant, other liver problems, HIV, other medical conditions, and all your medicines. Do not take Maverick with atazanavir or rifampin. Report right away yellow skin, stomach pain or swelling, confusion and bleeding or bruising.
Hep C, crush it with Maverick.
Conquer it.
Cure it in only 8 weeks. See Hep C gone with Maverick.
Ask your doctor about Maverick. AbbVie could help you save.
We are at Best RV, the largest RV center in the state of California. If you're new to RVing or if you've been doing it for years, this is the place to come. We're with Niles, and Niles, we all know that it comes down to price and selection. But take a look at this. I mean, you have rows and rows to choose from.
Yes, almost exit to exit, almost a mile. And we have all of it from Class A, Class B, Class C, travel trailers, fifth wheels, toy hauler, destination trailers, even a pop-up tent trailers.
You've got it all, and we are centrally located in Turlock, right off Highway 99. It's very convenient, but you can start that RV journey by shopping online from home.
Yes, they could go to our website at bestrv.com. They could check the models, pictures, photo, price, and all the specification they need. They could contact us by email or by phone, or they could come in person and check it out.
You can answer all their questions. Thanks a lot, Niles. Some great information. Hurry before summer is over. During the month of July, save up to 40% off of MSRP. All units must go, so go to bestrv.com.
Now, your CBS 47 pinpoint weather forecast.
Happy Sunday evening, everybody. It was a pretty nice day out there. Actually, a little bit cooler than we anticipated for today. We were about 4 degrees cooler in Fresno, but hey, we will take it, especially in the middle of July, where it's normally supposed to be pretty warm, above the mid-90s. We were in the high 80s, so it was a pretty nice day out there. First, we're taking a look at our live cam here at our Valley Cam and Tulare outlets, and you can see it's a pretty clear day. However, you can always tell by the flags that wind is blowing a little bit here. But here's where we topped off for today. Like I said, really kind of below average temperatures that we were expecting. Not really this low, though. We got 89 in Fresno, 85 in Merced, up in Yosemite, 84, still pretty warm and almost as cool as the valley down there, or almost colder, or a little bit colder than the valley. As for the South Valley, though, you're always looking at about 90, going to be generally warmer down there as always. As for the next few days, you're looking at basically the same exact rinse and repeat cycle. However, we will see these temperatures really kick up over the next few days. We're talking about maybe 2 days of 90s, and then the hundreds and the triple digits just start to run away with it. So here's a look at the winds that we saw down there. So you're seeing 14 in Fresno, 13 in Lemoore, Hanford at 12. So it's a pretty windy day down there. A lot of stuff is moving down south, southwest. As for the foothills, though, or southeast rather, as for the foothills, though, you're seeing some pretty calm conditions. Normally that blue is kind of up here in the foothills, but that's a good sign that with these drying conditions, we're not seeing a lot of wind in the foothills. As for the averages, this is what I'm talking about. We should have been in the high 90s, but we were only at 88 today in Fresno. That's where we topped out at. The lows are also pretty low too, about 10 degrees cooler than normal, but we will get up to those average, unfortunately. The lows for tonight, though, they're going to be pretty cold. 60 for Fresno, 61 in Oakhurst, 53 up there in Yosemite if you just so happen to be camping today. But for tomorrow, you're looking at 94 to start your week for Fresno, Lemoore, Coalinga, and Hanford as well. Even Visalia and Porterville matching 94. So really going to blanket this area with those high 90s that we should be expecting around this time of year. As for the air quality, looking at pretty moderate. Kind of a rinse and repeat cycle, nothing too crazy. That wind, though, is really helping us get over that 4th of July really mucky air that we had. But take a look at your 7-day. This is what we've been talking about. 99 on Tuesday is expected, so we're going to be right about that average for mid-July, as we all know how the Central Valley gets. And then we really start to kick it into gear. We could expect the first 110-day of the year, at least in Fresno, and next weekend is looking to be a hot one. And while the extreme heat that we had last week has given us a little bit of a small break, other parts of the country, they're continuing to get pummeled by the sun. And in Phoenix, there hasn't been a day cooler than 110 degrees this month, with excessive heat warnings expected to last through at least next week. And in Miami, the heat combined with the humidity made it feel like 110 for several days long. One scientist says that these hotter hots and cooler colds are a result of climate change.
In a word, human-caused warming. It's not rocket science. You make the planet hotter, you're going to get more frequent, intense, long-lasting heat waves. We should expect the unexpected, which is...
Now, experts say everyone can help cool the planet by using less gas, energy, and water. And it's time to check in with our Scott Bemis. Scott, what do you got coming up for us in sports?
Well, Esteban, I'll update you on a Bullard grad getting ready to represent the USA on the world stage. Plus, the Clovis West alum looks for another great finish on the links, and a Clovis grad tries to win a national title. All that and more next to Sports Central.
We are at Best RV, the largest RV center in the state of California. If you're new to RVing or if you've been doing it for years, this is the place to come. We're with Niles, and Niles, we all know that it comes down to price and selection. But take a look at this. I mean, you have rows and rows to choose from.
Yes, almost exit to exit, almost a mile. And we have all of it from Class A, Class B, Class C, travel trailers, fifth wheels, toy hauler, destination trailers, even a pop-up tent trailers.
You've got it all, and we are centrally located in Turlock, right off Highway 99. It's very convenient, but you can start that RV journey by shopping online from home.
Yes, they could go to our website at bestrv.com. They could check the models, pictures, photo, price, and all the specification they need. They could contact us by email or by phone, or they could come in person and check it out.
You can answer all their questions. Thanks a lot, Niles. Some great information. Hurry before summer is over. During the month of July, save up to 40% off of MSRP. All units must go, so go to bestrv.com.
So you're fed up with that one cable news network you knew and loved, and more importantly, trusted. Did you know there's another choice out there you can trust? News Nation has a trust rating higher than CNN, Fox, and MSNBC. And you can only be the most trusted name in news with the most trusted names in news. See why America's fastest growing cable news network is News Nation. To find News Nation on your TV, go to joinnn.com.
Grab the keys to a new Toyota. Let's go! Summer fun is yours for the taking. Hit the open road in a brand new, reliable Toyota. Don't just make plans, capture memories. Get low 3.99% APR financing on the stylish, fuel-efficient Camry, or lease a Camry for as low as $379 a month. Grab the keys, let's go! Toyota, let's go places.
Now, Sports Central, presented by Toyota.
Clovis East alum Bryson DeChambeau continues to post solid results on the LIV Tour. Bryson closed with a 368 Sunday at the event in London, finished in a tied for 11th, cashing $340,000 for the effort. That's now 17 straight under par rounds for Bryson on the LIV circuit. On the PGA Tour, meantime, Clovis West grad Peter Quest had another good showing this week, although Peter had an up-and-down Sunday at the John Deere, followed up an opening bogey with a chip-in for birdie there on the second hole. Now, later in his round, he drived the short par 4 14th, which led to another one of his 6 birdies. Unfortunately, he'd also mix in 4 bogeys and a double on his way to an even par 71. In the end, he dropped 12 spots Sunday into a tie for 17th. Still a very good check for the 25-year-old, though, as he earns nearly $113,000 for the top 20 finish. And there's even better news for the former All-American out of BYU, as Peter has now earned enough non-member FedEx Cup points to become a special temporary member of the PGA Tour for the rest of this season, which means he'll likely get into some more events, especially in the fall, after the conclusion of the FedEx Cup playoffs. At the U.S. Outdoors in Oregon, another Clovis Unified product, Jenna Prandini, trying to add a 3rd national championship in the 200 meters to her resume. You know, she finished just 4th in her semi, so she had to start from lane 2 in the final. And off the turn there, she was in the middle of the pack, ended up 6th overall with a time of 22.43 seconds. The top 3 here go to Worlds. Also of note, Fresno State star thrower Sierra Jackson finished 5th and 15th in the discus. Mount Whitney High School alum Jade Whitfield also qualified in the discus, but didn't end up throwing Sunday. Hey, there were 70 total picks Sunday during the first 2 rounds of the Major League Baseball draft in Seattle, and Redwood High graduating senior pitcher Joey Volchko still available. Volchko, who is also a Stanford commit, should hear his name called Monday during rounds 3 through 10, since MLB.com has the hard-throwing righty ranked as the 80th best prospect overall. Also still on the board is former Hanford High standout Jerron Watts-Brown, MLB.com's 67th ranked prospect, who just finished up an outstanding year as a pitcher for Big 12 power Oklahoma State. Bulldog pitcher Eshawn Henderson will also likely go off the board Monday. In downtown Fresno Sunday, it was a quick one at Chichancy Park. A pitch clock special, if you will, as this one was over in only an hour and 51 minutes. It was 1-0 Fresno in the top of the 9th when former Bulldog Zach Morgan, playing first base for San Jose Sunday, well, he would reach on an error, but he would get no further because Grizzlies closer Zach Agnos gets the strikeout here to end the game. The Grizzlies post their 2nd straight shutout win, taking it 1-0. They're 13-2 in the second half, the best second half record in all of minor league baseball. Meantime, in Visalia, Lake Elsinore jumped out to an early 7-0 lead, hangs on for the 9-5 win over the Hyde. The Storm also win the series 4-2. The Rawhide now 7-8 to start the second half, which has them in a 3-way tie for 2nd in the South, 2 games back of Inland Empire. Finally, to that story from Sunday, a little better than the rest. It's Bemis' Best. Yeah, before an electric sellout crowd in San Jose Sunday, the U.S. women's national team featuring Bullard High alum Lynn Williams, number 6 there, beat Wales 2-0 in their final tune-up before their World Cup opener in New Zealand against Vietnam on July 24th. First, Williams came on as a second-half sub, helped set up the Americans' first goal, which is certainly worthy of a coveted spot in Bemis' Best. Now, this is the first time Lynn has made the final roster for a World Cup. although she did help the Americans, if you remember, win a bronze medal at the Tokyo Olympics 2 years ago. We'll be right back.
I truly don't understand how you can prefer cats over dogs.
Because cats are adorable.
Debatable.
Did you get that GIF I sent you?
Oh, the GIF?
Yeah, I definitely sent you a GIF.
I definitely received your GIF.
What is the point of decaf coffee? It's the coffee you drink when you don't want to have the jitters. Then just don't drink coffee.
It's pronounced GIF.
It's GIF.
I like window seats.
But if the window breaks, you get sucked out.
Hybrid, plug-in hybrid, EV. To each their own, electric. Get offers on select vehicles at the Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event.
For almost 2 decades, Sierra Valley Almonds in Madera has been a major leader in the almond industry. Our full range of services include hulling, shelling, processing, and marketing. From the fields of our high-quality growers, Sierra Valley Almonds processes and ships a full menu of superior products to both domestic and export markets around the world. Sierra Valley Almonds is a proud advocate for our growers concerning many almond industry issues, both locally and globally. Sierra Valley Almonds, your success is our success.
With Long John Silver's $10 shrimp shares, you can enjoy grilled shrimp, hand-battered shrimp, or popcorn shrimp. Your choice for just $10, because now is not the time to scrimp on shrimp. Long John Silver's, fish yeah.
Woo! Insurance companies like to give big-name football stars to endorse their products.
Not AAA.
Outsmart athlete endorsements and choose coverage confidence from AAA.
To watch CBS 47 Eyewitness News anytime, go to Xfinity On Demand and click Get Local.
Finally from us, we got a chance to check out the 2023 Summer Grass Volleyball Series. Check this out. Organizers say they've been hosting these tournaments for the last 10 years, and it's the biggest community outreach to get in touch with players. Now, the event was held on the Fresno City College baseball field, and they say anyone is able to play, from those just starting out learning the game to more professionals. And all the money raised in these tournaments goes back into Fresno City College for the beach and indoor programs.
So we're just really happy that we have an opportunity to bring out people of different levels and from different volleyball communities within Fresno. We offer adult offerings with our open division, and we have intermediate levels of play as well. I'd say this summer we've probably seen our biggest draw in terms of youth teams participating, whether it be elementary level or junior high kids. So we're seeing a tremendous growth.
They have another tournament July 22nd and 23rd, and they anticipate to have a good turnout next time. And it was another good turnout this afternoon at Selma Church for their fundraising event. St. Joseph Church organizers say the money they raised today will go towards their event in September called Share the Love Festival. We're told church bells haven't been working in some time, but they didn't realize that. It's actually been 20 years since the bells have gone off, so they're trying to fix it. Just yesterday, the Knights of Columbus repaired the bells, and they heard them again for what felt like the first time.
It gave me the chills just to hear the bells and the people just looking around. It sounds like a church. It sounds like a church. So it is a very pleasant feeling for me to hear the bells.
Now, they say the bells have been long overdue, but they're happy to have them chime in just in time for the fundraiser today. And you will have a kind of a rinse and repeat day for tomorrow to start your Monday. However, temperatures will start to pick back up. You could see it taking a look at our 7-day forecast here on Wednesday. It's going to be 101, and it'll just kick up from there. You're looking at 109 next Saturday, 110 next Sunday. And taking a quick look at the Sierra forecast here, you're seeing temperatures up to 90 to the mid-90s next weekend. So even if you're going to try to escape the valley floor, you've got some heat in the mountains as well. Thank you so much for watching this edition of Eyewitness News at 11. Have a great night and be safe.
Eyewitness News brings you an eye on ag. Join Anthony Bailey for the latest in ag innovations and insights from our prominent local partners. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on Eyewitness News. Or watch the stories online now at yourcentralvalley.com.
We are at Best RV, the largest RV center in the state of California. If you're new to RVing or if you've been doing it for years, this is the place to come. We're with Niles, and Niles, we all know that it comes down to price and selection. But take a look at this. I mean, you have rows and rows to choose from.
Yes, almost exit to exit, almost a mile. And we have all of it from Class A, Class B, Class C, travel trailers, fifth wheels, toy hauler, destination trailers, even a pop-up tent trailers.
You've got it all, and we are centrally located in Turlock, right off Highway 99. It's very convenient, but you can start that RV journey by shopping online from home.
Yes, they could go to our website at bestrv.com. They could check the models, pictures, photo, price, and all the specification they need. They could contact us by email or by phone, or they could come in person and check it out.
You can answer all their questions. Thanks a lot, Niles. Some great information. Hurry before summer is over. During the month of July, save up to 40% off of MSRP. All units must go, so go to bestrv.com.
Psoriasis really messes with you. Try, hope, fail.
No one should suffer like that.
I started Cosentix. 5 years clear.
Real people with psoriasis look and feel better with Cosentix. Don't use if you're allergic to Cosentix. Before starting, get checked for tuberculosis. An increased risk of infections, some serious, and the lowered ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor about an infection or symptoms, or if you've had a vaccine or plan to. Tell your doctor if your Crohn's disease symptoms develop or worsen. Serious allergic reactions may occur.
Best move I ever made.
Ask your dermatologist about Cosentix.
Disaster and damage can strike anytime. It's good to know the professionals at Serpro have the training and equipment to get your life back on the right track. Whether it's water, fire, or storm damage. For restoration and cleaning, count on Serpro of Clovis, Visalia, Fresno, and Shaver.
Now YourCentralValley.com, pros who know.
While under IV sedation, you can have all of your dental work done while you sleep. For more information about the process, call Better Life today.
For more expert advice, go to YourCentralValley.com/pros who know.
I'm Anthony Bailey. You're watching CBS 47.
The following paid commercial program does not reflect the opinions and views of Nexstar Broadcasting Incorporated, this station, or their employees and affiliates.
Up next, a breakthrough age-defying treatment to visibly transform the dry, crepey skin on your body.
Get ready to see life-changing results. Smoother, firmer, younger-looking skin.
Plus, is your neck looking older than you feel? Get exclusive access to a brand new free gift, the Ultra Smoothing Neck Repair.
Find out more in this paid presentation for